As anyone who has been following my reviews for a while would already know, I tend to really love weird games. While there's something satisfying about well-made experiences that are also familiar, whether they ultimately work out or not, there's a thrill to checking out titles that simply do things differently. That's really what attracted me to Unables when I first got a look at it, and I will say that initially I was a fan. The hook for the game is that you'll be presented with a series of 15 vignettes of sorts, each set up in a cube-like space. The goal is to tilt and jostle that environment in order to move around characters and objects, somewhat consistent with how you'd play the classic tabletop game of Labyrinth. You'll have a series of objectives you'll need to fulfill, some of which will tend to be easier, but others getting more complex and requiring some planning or nuance to accomplish. In general, this is a pretty wacky concept, and it can make for some entertaining bits of action with everything flying about and people flopping around limply. The catch is that pretty quickly the point where the ingenuity of the idea crashes face first into some problems and implementation is reached. Your biggest challenge will be keeping track of what's going on, as many of the ways you will turn the scene will cause most of what's inside to be obstructed by walls or the floor. The game tries to help out at times, highlighting the outline of the character you're trying to move, but given the lack of depth perception, this actually isn't all that useful most of the time. Another challenge is that some areas in the scenes can get a bit tight, which will sometimes get characters or even key elements sort of stuck somewhere, and at times it can be very challenging to get them back out. What that leaves you with is a pretty wacky and affordable experience that has a smart and fun idea, but that struggles with inconsistency and general problems in the execution. The truth is that trying to figure out how you'd avoid or minimize these problems feels like a head-scratcher, so I'm in no way trying to knock the job the team behind this has done. That said, there's no getting around the fact that this can make the experience a bit less fun, and sometimes aggravating. Even if when you're successful it remains quite amusing. It makes for a unique game, without a doubt, but you'll have to forgive some problems while hopefully enjoying it. Overall, my final score for the game ended up being a 6.8. And if you're interested in picking it up, it's currently available on the Switch eShop for $12.99. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this review. And if you'd like more information or ideas of indie games worth checking out on Switch, be sure to click on the link provided in the description. Until next time.